I am so excited that we are entering year 2 of the support from the fireworks community team. I am so excited to have them hosting us today. They're a creative co-working space focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. Get a free day pass when you book with them. You have to use code DRIVE, or if you go to see them in person to visit their beautiful space and meet their awesome staff, tell them Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and you'll get a free day pass to try the space yourself. Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Your Morning Drive. I am Logan Lewis, your host with the most, coming to you live from my office. Before we dive in, hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Share with a friend who could use a little humor, inspiration, whatever it may be. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watch on YouTube. A 5-star review, a comment, a like, whatever it is on any of those platforms helps us grow. For updates and behind the scenes fun, clips, and other things, follow along on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Everything, of course, across all the platforms is just at Your Morning Drive. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. My guests today are 2 of the board members of the Lori Ann Foundation. The mission of the Lori Ann Foundation is to honor her legacy by supporting causes that were dear to her heart, focusing on efforts that care for and rescue our furry friends, providing mental health resources for everyone, improving access to health care for underserved populations, and delivering education support for at-risk youth. The 2 guests were related to Lori, one of which has been on this very podcast before, which was her sister. The other one being her daughter, who is a first-timer on Your Morning Drive. Please welcome back Lisa Ingalls and welcome Haley Knight. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How are you?
Ines. Great.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. Happy to have you. Thanks for carving time out of your weekend. I know you guys have a lot to do this weekend, and I know it's a very powerful weekend, a very tough weekend, I'm sure. So I appreciate you guys wanting to jump on, be a little vulnerable, and talk to me a little bit about Lori.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Tomorrow, if I'm right, the day we're recording this won't come out for about a month or so, but tomorrow is, if I'm correct, is tomorrow the anniversary of your mom's passing, Haley?
Yes. 5 years.
Okay, gotcha. And just to kind of, for those who don't know, who aren't aware, kind of tell everybody, whichever one of you want to, or together, who was Lori? What was she like? I never met her, and if I did, I was very young. You're shaking your head, so I assume I was a wee lad when I met her. So tell us about her.
Well, okay, I'll go first. She was a force. I always called her the badass because nobody ever picked on me, because she would literally protect me. She was my huge protector. She was the protector of all of us, pretty much. Just huge sports person, loved softball. That was her sport of choice. So many things.
Lisa, was she older or younger than you?
She was older than me. She was a huge dog person. Family was super, super important. We come from an Italian family, so every every Sunday and Wednesday were pasta day. She loved making sauce all the time. We're such a close-knit family, and first and foremost, that was her number one thing, was her family. She loved to have a good time, she was a party animal. She loved to party. She loved a good party. Yes. Her birthday was April Fool's Day, so that says a lot. And it lasted the whole month. The whole entire month. Yeah. We had to celebrate from day one all the way to the end of April. And I'm telling you, it was a celebration the entire month. So
maybe that's where I get it.
Yeah. she just loved to have a good time. She was all about it. So yeah.
And then growing up, obviously we came from a small town up in northeastern Arizona, Pine Top. So honestly, outdoor, like she was devastated when I didn't want to play softball, but she would be at all of our sporting events, every single thing, track meets. My brother played baseball, like very outdoorsy, wanted us to be outdoor and like just really enjoy life and childhood. And like Lisa mentioned, always wanted to be around family and friends, and all of our friends are considered family, and inviting them over for sauce Sundays. And, she was an amazing human.
And even up until she passed away, the kids would get huge Easter baskets and Valentine's Days. I mean, she
went all out.
Yes, all out. Yeah. Mm.
So I'm curious now, because you said something, Haley, and you can't not dive into it a little more. What is Sauce Sundays?
Sauce Sundays. So like Lisa mentioned, we come from an Italian family. So it's very big on Sundays in Italian culture to kind of get the whole family together and just sit around, enjoy a huge meal. So Sauce Sundays, it would be any kind of Italian food, whether that's big ziti, lasagna, big old bowl of spaghetti and meatballs, and just homemade sauce. She would wake up, start making her sauce 8 a.m. Sunday morning, finish up around 4, and then that's when we would start eating dinner. And it was like a never ending, it was like Olive Garden, never ending pasta.
Did you guys have unlimited breadsticks?
Yeah, I wish.
There was always a lot of bread.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
and we would always invite all of our friends over. They don't really get that. They don't really understand it. So it was nice for them to come over and just have a home cooked Italian meal.
Sure.
And you don't go into the kitchen like while she's cooking, or my mom, why she's cooking, you just stay away. Don't do anything in the kitchen. She's got it all.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of bickering on Sundays, because it's like I make my sauce different than my sister makes hers, than my mom made hers. So we would all like, well, why don't you do this to yours? Why do you do, so yeah.
That's awesome. Your morning drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase. Yeah, I'm getting a pretty good picture. I'm like imagining it all in my head, and I'm picturing like, this is a really stupid comparison, but it's the one that jumps out at me. You ever see, like, you seen Duck Dynasty, and at the end of every episode, they do this giant family dinner. People are playing games and telling stories and laughing and having a good time. It sounds like that's what Sauce Sunday was like.
Yep.
100%. All the time. Yeah. Definitely games too.
Yeah. Card games,
dice, like everything.
Made it a big old shebang.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So remind me, because it's been a while since I've talked to you about it, Lisa, but walk us through what happened.
So I don't live in Arizona. I live in Utah, and it was on a Sunday, and I got the call from Haley, and my mom had just had a knee replacement. So Lori was over here cooking dinner for her and my dad and cleaning up and everything. And I got a phone call around like 9 o'clock at night saying that Haley thought that she was having a seizure. And my parents called the ambulance and everything. And she ended up having a massive heart attack on my parents' sofa. And my mom had just had knee surgery. So my mom couldn't get up to call 911. So my dad was performing CPR and he had to stop to call 911 and everything. And they came and yeah, she passed away that night. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry. I'm going to say I'm sorry 50 times during this, but I'm sorry. How terrifying for your parents to be there, especially your mom, who as a parent wanted every bit of her soul to get up and help, but she literally couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, how crippling that must have felt, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, the pressure on your dad too. I mean, he's sitting there trying to perform CPR. All the while, your mom's probably screaming at him, call 911, call 911. But he's saying, I'm trying to save her life here.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine being them in that moment.
And I remember, like, afterwards, the shirt that they had cut off of her, my grandpa slept with it for almost probably about a year afterwards.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is too, is, being out of state, I'm, paralyzed in fear because I don't know what is happening. And I then got the call that she had passed, and I called my mom to talk to my mom because my dad went to the hospital. Well, my mom couldn't go. So my mom's here, and I had sent her brother over here to be with her. And so I'm assuming my mom knew she had passed, but nobody had called my mom.
Oh, man.
Called my mom, completely upset. My mom had no idea she was gone.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and then about an hour later, my mom had called me and said, "Please tell your dad to come home," because my dad wouldn't leave her side. So immediately we flew out the very next day. But the thing that was so crazy was it was literally right before COVID hit. So we had planned this huge funeral, and we didn't even know till the night before if they were going to allow us to have it because of COVID was just starting.
Were you able to have it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah, it was big too. And I'm surprised at how many people did come because
People from our childhood that we haven't seen in years on end. My
Mhm.
dad's childhood friend, Jay, was there, who we haven't seen since we were little. Like, just people showing up left and right. It was amazing.
So, and it's interesting because everybody says, so many people have such bad experiences with COVID. And to me, I won't say I loved it, but I was so happy when it happened because I literally stayed here for almost 3 months with my parents, and the whole country was locked down. So we were all literally together as a family. And so that was really good. So
during that time I was living with a roommate, but I ended up just coming back to my dad so I could be with him and my brother, and they worked from home. So it was,
yeah.
Of all circumstances, I'm glad it was kind of during that time. So that way we all could kind of grieve in our own way all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say it provided as sucky of a time as it was for a lot of people. This is the second or third time this week I've actually had a conversation with somebody, and they've said as horrible COVID was for so many people, they're all thankful that it happened when it did for different circumstances. You guys being, of course, being able to grieve because there's nothing worse than grieving the loss of a loved one when everybody is 100 miles apart and you can't be there to physically be a shoulder for somebody if they need it. It worked. I hate to say that it worked out, but it
did. Yeah.
Given the circumstances, it worked out.
It was crazy because it was literally like she passed away, then it was her birthday, and then it was Mother's Day. And I stayed, and I stayed the whole entire time. Yeah. So it was good. I stayed about 3 or 4 months. And
Well, it was during that time because I went to the hospital that night when she passed, and it was like They were still like playing around with how many people could be let back, but given the circumstances, like they did end up letting, obviously me and my brother, my dad, my grandpa was back there, and then my aunt, my uncle, couple other family members that lived here. They ended up, just due to the circumstances, letting them back. So.
Yeah. Lisa, I want to ask you something well, first I want to ask Haley, because I don't have this experience, but my wife also lost her mom at around, a young age. And there's times that we go through certain things in life, whether it's, wanting to start a family, or not knowing how to navigate a conversation at work, or not knowing how to do this or that or whatever. And she just says, I wish I could just call my mom. She's still got her dad. Her dad is alive and well, but there's a special bond that somebody has with their mother that, I'm going to call my mom and ask for help on certain things that I just would never call my dad for.
Yeah.
And she feels the same way. How was it for you to adjust to that absence? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm still adjusting to it. There's certain things that, will happen in life, even just like wanting a shopping buddy or someone to go out and do stuff with. Like, she was that person. I still can't find myself to this day to read any of her text messages or anything like that. So that's really hard to me. Thankfully, I have Lisa. So she's kind of been my fill-in mommy figure aunt in a way, that she's a person I do call when I do need anything, or like that motherly advice, so to speak. But it is hard. Like, you find yourself certain events or anything like that. At weddings, I always tear up during like the mother-daughter dance, or even when the groom's dancing with his mom. I just think of my brother, when his wedding comes, he's not going to have that sort of thing. So,
Yeah. And I'm glad that you said that you talked to Lisa, because I wanted to ask Lisa now. Lisa, how do you navigate being that female role model, mama figure to Haley and Cameron without, and I'm sure there's sometimes it does, but without crossing any lines of, you're not my mom, I'm just here for advice. How did you consciously navigate that? Or how are you navigating that?
Well, I never could have children. So I have been extremely close to Haley and Cameron from day one. Like, these two are my people. And so I've always had an amazing relationship with them. And I think once Lori passed, it was just like, I know what I have to do, step in and be there for them, be there. And my husband, Victor, they're super close with him. They call him all the time, so it wasn't that, to me, it's just everything I did, I just do a little more of. So because I already had that amazing relationship with them,
it was easy to kind of
happen. Exactly. And to be honest, like Haley and I, like Haley's my best friend. Like, I talk to Haley.
We talk every day.
Every day.
Whether that's a simple text, phone call, FaceTime. She'll be at the grocery store and be like, this reminded me of you. Just like the stupidest little things. But
yeah,
really every day.
We talk every day. She's my travel buddy. We travel the world together. We always make plans, in the future and everything. So I just hate the fact that their mom isn't here, to see what amazing people they turned out to be and continue, their lives. And I hate that she can't see it, but I'm glad that they have me,
Me too.
So
not a lot of people have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
So, I mean, I'm lucky, and so were they. So, and like tomorrow is, the anniversary of Lori's death. And I made the kids a promise that no matter where we are in the world, I will always, always spend that day with them. And we have our traditions that we do on that day. And going on 5 years, I haven't missed it. So I'm always here with them.
What are those traditions, if you don't mind me asking?
So it sounds silly.
I know they are gonna sound silly, but
I know that you spend the day the way that you say your mom would wanted to spend it, right?
so basically we do all of her favorite things.
Let me just say it cost me a fortune.
But one thing, like, no one could make biscuits and gravy better than her. So we always like to try and go to a restaurant and have biscuits and gravy to start. Nice little breakfast, get the day going. And then every day she would go to the gas station and get a Dr. Pepper, 32-ounce Dr. Pepper. So then we make our way to the gas station. We all get Dr. Peppers, pick up our dog from the house, our family dog Cooper, which was her world, which we'll kind of dive more into once we talk about the tournament stuff. But so we pick him up. She would come over to my grandparents, and they live kind of in a community that has a bunch of green belts, which a bunch of grass areas, and would take him for a walk. So we eventually make our way over here, take him for a walk through the green belt, and then her most favorite place in the world. Most people are like, oh, I like this sort of store to go to. My mom's was the grocery store. If she could go to the grocery store 5 times a day, she would. She loves the grocery store, like every aisle, not just in and out. No, it was every aisle. We got to hit maybe a couple laps. So we always try and make it go to the grocery store. To this day, we still, every time I go to the grocery store, I punch in her phone number for the points and everything. And then Ross, she loved Ross. So we'll make a little trip to Ross, do a little shopping. Crazy enough, what was it? 2 or 3 years ago, we were shopping in Ross. All of us were on like different sides of the store. And one of the songs we had in her celebration of life, her funeral, is Memories by Maroon 5. Granted, this was 3 years later, so the song had kind of fizzled out. We're shopping in Ross. The song comes on in Ross, and all of us literally
Find
opposite
each other.
sides of the store, find each other, come together, and just hug each other super tight. And it's like she was there with us. So that's like an amazing memory that kind of came up. And then we kind of end the day. She loved Peter Piper pizza. We end the day with some Peter Piper pizza, and then we usually do a balloon release in which we always write a note, nice little to her note, and then send off our notes and love via balloon in her favorite color, purple.
That's awesome.
Yeah, spending money all day. Yes, we love to do.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. Because so I'm not, well, I don't want to say I'm not. I'm kind of I'm a believer in the afterlife. And I've myself and my mother and a few other people that we're close to have had experiences with lost loved ones. And I'm curious if your mom has ever made it obvious to either of you that she's hanging around.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
So last year when we did our balloon release, I am not exaggerating, the sky was fire and purple. It was, and we have pictures of it. It was the most magical sky I've ever seen. And I was like, oh my God, she's here.
Well, I guess couple for me, I worked at the time at a dentist's office in the front. One of the girls, I didn't know it at the time, but she was actually like a medium, and she kind of did it on the side via Skype with, people randomly who would reach out to her. Well, I was sitting at the desk and she was walking a patient up, and then she just like stops and is like looking a little bit like above me and like staring. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, what happened? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. Just super awkward and weird. I'm like, okay. She leaves, and then end of the day, I get this Facebook message, and basically she said, I have never seen these bright colored orbs, and they were hanging all around you. You remember that awkward interaction we had? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I was seeing all kinds of these different orbs, pink, orange, yellow. She's like, basically, like, pink means love, orange means energy and lights. She's like, I have never seen that before. And this was kind of like a year, almost a couple months into a year after we had lost her.
Wow.
Yeah. And I really wasn't a big believer until like I kind of got that message from her. It really like made me see it.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was crazy.
Stories like that always send shivers down my spine because it's like, oh,
And then again, working at a dentist's office, we get shipments all the time of like toothbrush packets and stuff. So I was in our storage closet and I was like moving a box that had just come in, and I moved the box, and the box on the bottom had Lorianne, which was her first name, middle name. It had Lorianne in like a Sharpie marker written on top of the box. Basically, it's whoever checks the boxes, they have to write their name. Lorianne, it was written like on that box that I had moved. Crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wild.
Goosebumps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So you guys, so after she passed, which has been 4 or 5 years ago,
Mhm.
at what point did you say, we want to do something a little more than just honoring her with our traditions every year? We want to support some of the things that she was passionate about. We want to honor her in a bigger way that she would have wanted to do herself. When did you guys kind of come to that place?
Almost immediately.
Really, she passed in March, and by that November, we were
Yeah.
already planning our first tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, and we had decided that it would be around her birthday every year. So, like I said, her birthday is on April Fool's Day. So it's always like either the weekend before or the weekend after.
Year 4, it was actually on her birthday.
Mhm.
So that year we actually had like a cake and did like a special celebration and everything. So we try and have it, in memory in a way of her. But yeah, it was almost immediately that we were like, no, we got to do something.
The thing I think for me, it was because we were such a close family, and the kids were, I mean, they weren't little, but they were, younger. Yeah, early 20s. And it was like, I want them to always remember their mom. And then I wanted something for my parents to be involved with as well. And so starting the foundation and then this golf tournament, the entire family is involved in this. And it's something that is so special for our whole
Everyone.
family.
Yeah.
And so immediately we decided that we needed to honor her.
And like we always knew, because as time goes on, you kind of forget certain like little details and what they look like. So we also wanted like our face of the foundation, like our logo to be her face. So if you look like on our logo, it's kind of like her side profile. We found a nice little photo, and it's her side profile of a photo I had actually taken a few years back for Valentine's Day. I just like shot it over, and that's our logo.
And then in the name, it's where it says Lori Ann, that is her handwriting.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah. That Lori Ann is her handwriting.
Yeah. She always wrote.
Cool.
Yeah. And I had a friend, and that logo, he designed that logo, and he lives in Australia. So he did the Puttin for Paws logo and Lori Ann's foundation logo as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then I know that on that tournament, you guys work with a couple organizations. Are those organizations that ones that she supported when she was alive, or were they, or maybe a little bit of both, or was it something that you guys were like, okay, let's look for a local organization that aligns with the things that she was passionate about?
Yeah. So we partner with Adoptable Dog Rescue, and the owner of that charity
Good
was
family friend.
Good Family Friend. And so when we started doing this, we knew we wanted to do something with dogs. So we partnered with Jeff to bring his foundation on with ours.
So
So
we had no idea, like, kind of where to start or what to do. So we're like, hey, Jeff, can you help us out?
blind here. Yeah.
So he also kind of helped us navigate because there's a whole bunch that like
a lot
behind the
of work.
scenes that a lot of people don't realize going into
Yeah.
setting up a foundation. So
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're setting one up right now, so you probably know it takes a lot.
yeah.
So
It's definitely not it's not easy.
No.
It's not like setting up an LLC. That
No.
doesn't take much time at all. This
No.
is something that's a lot more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know that. We didn't know it would take a whole, year and a half, 2 years to
Mhm.
get our final 501c3. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was just entered in a database and there you go. But no, we're from
No. Yeah. And so we knew that, I mean, eventually, like right now, our foundation is still very small and we want to grow it, obviously. And at some point, we would love to give out scholarships for girls playing sports at the
Yeah.
collegiate level. So that's like our goal at some point. But so right now we're, giving to lots of local dog charities and
we don't want to do like the big ones because we all know the big ones kind of get the most love and attention. So
Sure.
that's kind of what Jeff has helped us navigate too, is seeing and finding like these local animal shelters that maybe don't get as much love and attention, and they do require a little bit more, money or items donated to them. Plus, you don't want to just be giving it to anyone because who knows where that money is truly going.
yeah.
So he's helped us really kind of see that because he has been doing it so long.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was just going to ask, when you guys started the foundation, were there goals in mind? And eventually it sounds like that you guys intend on wanting to do scholarships. Were there any other goals that you guys had for the scholarship or I'm sorry, for the foundation? Or were you just saying, even if it's just a golf tournament we do every year, as long as we can do something to honor Lori a little bit more, that's what we want to do? Or were there always like higher intentions or higher goals with it?
There definitely are higher goals.
I think it definitely started with the scholarship. It's like,
Yeah.
how did we get there? So I think kind of throwing on these little events like the golf tournament, we eventually want to maybe get something in the fall going.
Yes.
To kind of raise
Do
our
something
funds
different.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do something different. But yeah.
And then she also was an organ donor last year. Was it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, we also made a big donation to Donate Life America. So we presented them with a check from the foundation. And then something kind of cool that I just recently found out. So when Lori had passed, she was an organ donor, and we were told that she gave 90% of her skin, which kind of shocked us at the beginning. And then we were told, your skin is the biggest organ you have. So she donated 90% of her skin, and Haley received a letter.
Yeah, we received a letter in the mail from a lady who did receive some of that donated skin. She actually handwritten letter to us, just thanking us, apologizing for the loss, but also being super grateful for my mom being an organ donor. So I didn't even know they did that. We just had received a letter in the mail from some random lady, and then come to find out it was someone my mom had donated to.
Yeah, I just got shivers. I mean, that's so cool. I mean, like, That's
Yeah.
so cool. It's so powerful too. I mean, it's insanely cool that, I mean, not cool, but I mean, the way that your mom's organs went to go and possibly save the life of another person, which
Yeah.
sounds like, just judging from y'all's stories and what you guys say, is something she would have been so excited to know.
Right.
And she does know, I'm sure. But
Again, I was 25 years old. I had no idea she was an organ donor. We were actually out to breakfast, kind of planning her services, and I had like an outfit in mind I wanted for her open casket viewing. It was one she wore to my graduation, and they actually called and said, do you have something more with like sleeves that's a little bit like higher neck? Your mom was an organ donor and like 90% of her skin was donated. And I just, we're at breakfast and I just start bawling. I had no idea, you know. So that was one of those things that kind of came around that I learned about my mom.
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool
And
that,
it's so interesting too, because, like you're married and you're young. And we didn't know what Lori wanted. We didn't know, do you want to be cremated? And so immediately when we lost Lori, it was like, shoot, like we need to plan what because what if something unexpectedly? So now, like, I have written everything down that, like, I want, in my last wishes and everything. And I always tell people now, like, you should have like a living trust or a living will, just so people know, because at this age, you don't think about it, what you,
Could happen.
yeah, what could happen. So,
yeah, it's never too early to plan for stuff like that. I mean, it's morbid and it's a very adult thing to have to do, and nobody wants to think about it or do it. But I mean, ultimately, it's gonna make, as much as you might want to say to yourself, "Oh, I don't care," because you'll be gone. You don't want to leave your family in a position of having to really, I mean,
yeah.
go through probate, or go through all those things that people have to face when people unexpectedly pass without a will or anything. I mean, it can be such a headache.
Yeah.
So yeah, make your wills, guys.
And it was so interesting because we laughed, because after she had passed, it was probably what, a week and a half, 2 weeks before the funeral was. And it's like we had dinners every night. And it was almost like like how she lived her life. We were celebrating her all the way up to her funeral. And then when we did her celebration of life, I mean, we just, whatever we wanted, we did. And it was a huge, huge celebration. And we're like, oh God, she would have absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely went out like she would have wanted. So yeah. And even now, like, me coming here, we still are celebrating her for almost a month, because it's like her death anniversary, then it's the golf tournament, then it's her birthday. So it's like we have
Still
this,
continuing.
yes, it's still continuing.
Yeah.
And we always do, after the golf tournament, my mom always does a huge catered dinner. And we always have some sort of heavenly birthday party, cake, celebration. So we're always celebrating her.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys want to stress to people listening to this, or is there anything that you want people to walk away from this conversation with, any kind of tidbit or tip, or anything in particular that you would tell people they need to think about?
So many people, I think when a loved one dies, they don't want to talk about it. They don't grieve. They kind of just like smash it down. And I think that at some point it will all come out. And some people don't handle it well, like others. We talk about my sister all the time. We celebrate her all the time. We have a memorial bench in my parents' backyard, and my parents decorate for every holiday. We still involve her in everything. And for us, that has helped our grief process so much. And to me, it's don't not talk about it. I think they were your loved one. They were an important part of your life. Celebrate them, and like I said, for me with the kids, we constantly talk about my sister, and it's really refreshing.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. And I guess for me, there's no right way to grieve. You see all these things and it's like, by this amount of time, you should be at this stage. And then you have the angry state. And I'm like, there's no stages. It's, it comes in waves. Mine hits me randomly. I'll hear a song on the radio and I'm just like, okay, time to cry, time to let my feelings out. But I think there's, this, I guess, thing out there that you should grieve a certain way or you should act a certain way. And it's kind of how you want to go about it. There's no right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said. Okay. Do you guys want to promote the foundation? Do you want to plug it? Do you want to talk about anything in that? If so, now's your time to do so.
So if you would like to follow us, we are at our email is laf@loriannfoundation.com. We are on Instagram at
Lori Ann Foundation.
We have a golf tournament every year. If you can't join us in Arizona, you can always donate to this great cause of furry friends. The golf tournament every year is called Puttin' for Paws, and it's kind of built around her dog Cooper. So Cooper's involved in the golf tournament. We have a little chip, his called the Cooper chip, and Cooper's always at the tournament as well. And other dogs are also there as well. But yeah, if you want to follow us, definitely look up on Instagram, and you do Facebook, right?
Not Facebook yet, but we're working on it. Now that TikTok isn't banned, I might start a TikTok for us too. Yeah, we're just trying to get our name out there just like everyone else. We appreciate any and all donations, no matter how big, how small. We just really want people to know who my mom was, who Lori was. She was truly an amazing human, and we never want to forget that.
And we from the Lori Ann Foundation definitely want to thank you, Logan. You have been such a significant part in this. We didn't know where to turn. We didn't know, how to do a website, anything.
Online donations.
Yes. You have really, really saved us, helped us. And you've created, this platform. Now we can go out and everybody can learn about Lori and her foundation, and they can donate from the website you've created. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all your effort.
Well, of course, that's nice for you to say that. I, of course, would have done it for you. We're, longtime family friends. So, I'd do anything to help out, especially because I live on the other side of the country and I can't always be there. I wish I could more often. We'll get there at some point.
We're going to hold you to it. You better get your butt out here for
one of these years.
I know. Listen, we'll figure it out. We'll get out there. I promise. I really wanted to this year, but I just couldn't do it. But listen, I desperately do want to come, and I'm bad at golf, but I will absolutely golf in the tournament and help out anywhere I can. But I truly do just love working with you guys. You're easy, you're fun. And if you guys are this easy and this fun, then I can only imagine what being around Lori would have been like. I'm sad I never could get the chance as an adult to be around her. I'm sure little Logan thought she was fun, but
little Logan did definitely matter.
But yeah, the honor and the pleasure is all mine, guys.
Thank you very much, Logan.
We appreciate you.
So everybody, I will make sure to throw the links for the Lorianne Foundation website in the description of the episode so that if you do want to donate, you can absolutely do so. Like they said, there's ways that you can give on the website and you can just donate whatever is convenient for you. They would appreciate that tremendously. Thank you guys for giving me your time tonight. You guys have a very busy weekend ahead of you and a lot of family time, a lot of grieving and a lot of celebrating Lori. And I just appreciate you guys wanting to hop on your morning drive and talk about the tournament, talk about her, and talk about her story a little bit more. It's a great honor.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Like I said at the beginning, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to follow along your morning drive. Make sure you send it to one friend or family member to give them a new show to listen to. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.
Bye.